There are two primary issues in Australia which has been, I guess, concerning many people. One of them is around mass migration, whatever mass migration means, still trying to work that one out. And the other, apparently, is around housing. So, apparently, the migrants are the reason you can't afford a house. Simple as that. But it isn't. Because obviously, the real problem isn't decades of policy failure, is that we let too many nurses, barristers, and software engineers in. So, yeah, right. So let's unpack this housing blame game and see what's really driving the crisis. I'm Tony Tonkin, and today we're talking about how immigration is or isn't pushing up the price of your home. Because somewhere between build more houses and close the borders, the truth is quietly stuck in traffic behind a planning permit somewhere. So let's start with the most obvious aspect of all of this. When more people arrive in Australia, demand for housing goes up. It's simple arithmetic. More households, more roofs needed. It's plain and simple, and we all should be able to understand it, but clearly a lot of people don't, particularly on the right. Migrants, particularly when they first arrive, tend to rent. They crowd into our cities, such as Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, because that's where jobs and networks are. That drives up rents and squeezes vacancy rates. It is understandable. We get it. We know what's happening. But I guess here's the catch. The effect only bites hard when we don't build enough housing. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. The reality is we haven't. So this has always been about supply. And it's about, because basically, I think at the end of the day, Australia's housing supply is slower than a public service coffee line. And we need to make sure that we improve upon all of that. For years, planning and red tape, land hoarding and underinvestment in infrastructure have meant that even when migration was low, we still had a shortage. Now migration's back up, 500,000 new arrivals in 2023. And we're still stuck approving development one form at a time. It's slow, it's tedious, and it's a pain in the bum. So yes, immigration adds demand, but it's not the root cause. I guess it's like blaming the guests for your dinner party disaster when you forgot to cook simply enough food. It's somebody else's fault. It's never yours. So research from Monash University shows that for every 1% increase in immigration inflows, house prices rise by around 0.9% in that local area. That's real, but believe me, folks, it's not apocalyptic. It's not going to be the end of the world. Meanwhile, the Institute of Public Affairs found we've got tens of thousands of fewer homes than needed just to keep up with existing population growth. And get this, KPMG modelling suggests that cutting migration too much could actually raise house prices in the long run, because fewer workers means fewer tradies to build the homes we desperately need. It is simple, it is reasonable, it is basic economics. So that, though, is what economists call a lose-lose situation. So the question we really need to be asking ourselves, so who's really driving this crisis? And one of the reasons for this, and there are many, is that tax settings that reward property investors is one reason. Councils that block medium density housing is another. interest rates and speculation, and a chronic lack of social housing, down 30%, 30% per capita since the 1990s. That's not current. This just indicates it's been happening for a long, long time. Immigration is the easy scapegoat because migrants don't have a talkback radio show, and many of them don't even do what I'm doing. So, and this is important to me as a social worker. So, from a social work lens, this matters deeply. Rising rents don't just hit young Aussies. They hit refugees, students, low-income families, and frontline workers. If we frame migrants as the villains, we're missing the opportunity for solidarity against a system that's failing all of us. So if we focus just on that one area, we're blind to the other reasons why this is happening. It's not migrants versus locals. It's renters versus rigged policies. So we need to think about what we can do. If we really want to fix this problem, we need to do what the government's intending to do, credit to them for that, build more housing, especially social and affordable stock, speed up approvals, encourage regional settlements so we can spread this population out. In the immigration population, we can spread them out more evenly rather than having them focus just on living in cities and major areas, and it's more about living in regional areas. Reform tax incentives so investors don't outbid home buyers. And maybe, just maybe, treat housing as a human right, not a speculative hobby. So this is what I'm going to offer to you. So the next time someone says we're full, tell them we're not full. We're just badly managed. Okay, folks, let me know what you think about all of this. This is an important issue. So I'm Tony Tonkin, and thanks for watching. You matter and facts matter. And remember, houses don't get built by blaming migrants. They get built by builders.